Hey, what's up, guys? It's Ben from My Sports Stop here with Richie Donnell. We're on to the linebackers,
Yes.
the heart and soul of the defense.
Yes.
We're going to start with outside linebackers, your top 10.
Yep.
Number 10, we're going to start a guy who was called Thor in
Yes.
Gainesville,
Yeah.
Alex Anzalone.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like with this guy. He doesn't have the ceiling that these other guys have, but this guy's just he's a true leader.
Yeah.
He shows up on game day, gets it done, and he's when you watch him play, what really sets him apart is the IQ. You know, like I said, he's not necessarily the fastest, the biggest, or anything like that, but just his ability to read plays, that play recognition for him is such a key part of the game. And you know, at the Senior Bowl, that was one of the things that they touched on. That he just kind of was around the ball all the time because he just read things very, very well.
Yeah. Number 9, you have Vince Biegel out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, this was a guy a couple years ago that they had thought maybe could have been a first-round pick. It may sound like a homer pick from us here,
right.
Being from Wisconsin, but this dude is an absolute beast.
He is.
He might even be better than Joe Schobert, who left Wisconsin last year. But this guy, he just gets after it. 6 tackles for loss, 4 sacks while he was hurt. But I think what really helps Biegel is the fact that he's played in both systems. He was there when Bielema was there and was a 4-3 linebacker, and then really adjusted and took off as a 3-4 outside linebacker. So that versatility, I think, is really going to help him, can improve his stock. Another player that you saw like it from the state of Wisconsin that did it was Clay Matthews when he did it with the Green Bay Packers. And I think seeing Clay do it is going to have teams more likely to draft a player like Biegel who has that versatility.
Yeah, for sure. Now, number 8, you have Devonte Fields from Louisville.
Yeah, this is a guy who I think he's a better fit of a defensive end, but because of his athleticism, he's going to move outside. He's a special kind of athlete. I mean, this kid, when he started out at TCU, was a Defensive Player of the Year as a true freshman. This kid has the ability. He just needs a strong locker room around him. And I think if he can get that strong locker room around him, I think you can really maximize the potential in this kid, and that potential is really high. He's hit double-digit sacks before. I don't think Louisville was a system that was best to fit his abilities, but if you get him in the right spot, having him do the right things, I think this is a guy that could eventually one day maybe lead the league in sacks.
Okay, number 7, this kid was a stud at Houston, Tyus Bowser.
Yeah, this dude is freaky athletic. Another guy who was a defensive end, outside linebacker, a hybrid, who just kind of he has the measurables. He played D end, then they converted him, but just when he was doing those linebacker drills, it looked so natural. And that's what you look for when you're moving a guy from a down position to an outside. You want to see how those hips move and the things that he's able to do. And he did it all well. And that gives you hope that at this position he's able to really take that next level and be able to chase some guys down.
Okay, another product from Florida at number 6, you have Jarrad Davis.
Yeah, this is a guy who just brings the boom. He's unreal. Watching film on this guy, just every hit that he had, he just seemed to light somebody up. The only thing that scares me and why I ended up dropping him down on my list a little bit was the injuries. That's something that obviously is a red flag for a lot of teams. But if this guy's healthy, he's just a natural leader. He's a natural hitter. He's a thumper. That's something that you want out of that linebacker position, somebody who can maybe change the game with a hit that forces a fumble.
Yeah.
You know, and he brings that physical entity that can change a game for somebody.
Okay, number 5, TJ Watt.
Yeah, TJ is a guy who really came on big this year. Biegel was the guy last year, and then he got hurt, and then Watt stepped up in a big way. Freaky athletic. He had 11.5 sacks this year. This guy is a true edge rusher. I don't want people to get caught up in the name because I think a lot of people are going to say, well, you know, because of his brother. This kid is good. And, you know, unfortunately, his brother is the best defensive player in the NFL, but this kid is going to be really good. He's the total package as a linebacker. He's a good athlete. Somebody like Ryan Kerrigan comes to mind when I watch TJ. Just somebody who can get out in coverage but also rush the passer as a complete 3-4 outside linebacker.
Okay, number 4, this Crimson Tide defense was extremely talented. Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, this was a guy I think you know, a lot of people are going to say, well, his success had to do with the talent around him. But not so. He's another guy who's a complete player, can really do it all. 61 tackles as an outside linebacker in their system is quite a bit because their inside linebackers are the ones that make a majority of these plays. But this kid's explosive. He can come off the edge. He's your prototypical 3-4 outside linebacker that if you're looking in the middle rounds for a guy that you want to be able to just come in as a third down rusher, I mean, this might be your guy. He's a guy who can just, like I said, he's explosive and can get back there and change the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, number 3, this was the guy coming off on the other side for the Alabama defense, Tim Williams.
Yeah, Tim Williams for me dropped a little bit because I was not happy with the way that he performed at his combine. But the tape for this dude is unreal. 6'4", 250 pounds as an outside linebacker. That's scary. I don't want a guy of that size running at me, that's for sure. But 27.5 tackles over the for loss over the last 2 seasons is impressive for anybody, no matter what position you're playing. But like I said, explosive, power to speed, speed to power. He does it all. He's a complete package. And, I mean, like I said, at that size with that length, there's not many guys that are going to be able to get around that edge when he's crashing.
Yeah. Now, number 2, you have Takkarist McKinley.
Yeah, this is a guy that was kind of in the same situation as Anthony Barr, same school, same situation. You really didn't know. I think a lot of people right away pegged him as he's going to be the guy that moves to outside linebacker, and it looks like that's what's going to happen.
Right.
But 10 sacks, 18 tackles for loss. If you're looking for a comparison, look at a guy like an Anthony Barr or a Khalil Mack, somebody who's switched those positions and moved around. He's got that freaky athleticism. The one thing you got to worry about is he a one-year wonder? But with the freaky things that he can do, I mean, if he ends up with a defensive-minded guy that just says, hey, we're just going to use you to do special things, this kid is going to be special.
And at number 1, people have been raving about him recently, Reddick from Temple.
Yeah, this guy, I think deservedly so, has moved up to number 1. How high he goes, I don't know. But, I mean, 22.5 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles. He's around the ball, and the thing with experience comes that awareness. Like I said with Anzalone, guys that do play 4 years of college football, they build that IQ, they build that awareness, that play recognition, and that's something that's going to push him to the next level because Temple is a school that builds themselves on that, and I think that has set him up really well to move on to the next level and be able to, I guess, put himself a step ahead of other guys that might be in his same position.
Right. So that's your top 10. Let's take a quick look at mine. Probably the biggest difference between ours is I actually have Zach Cunningham as an outside linebacker. You didn't leave yours out. You just you think of him as an inside linebacker. And it's kind of the same thing with me with Jarrad Davis, except for the opposite. I think of him as an inside. Rather than that, the only other guy on my list that you didn't have was Carroll Phillips out of Illinois. I think he has a good size that will make him a pretty good 3-4 outside linebacker in the NFL. But either way, I think there are 7, 8, maybe even 9 guys who could have a real big impact in the NFL, no matter where they're selected.
Right, absolutely. And we talked about this position. Linebacker position is a position that's changing, ever-changing, and the versatility of these guys is unreal.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to go on our website, mysportsapp.com, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more original videos.